Hey everyone, tonight I'm going to talk about some possible ideas for you to put on your note card for your Module 2 test. Remember that your Module 2 test is all about fractions, decimals, percents, being able to find missing percents, parts, and wholes in word problems and in just basic percent problems. You may use your tips and trick sheet for converting between fractions, decimals, and percents. If you want to include some of that information on your note card instead of using that sheet, I'll show you how to kind of shorthand some of those things. So if I start with let's say fractions. Let's see how do I do this? So if I want to go from a fraction to a decimal, I want the denominator needs to be 10, 100, 1000, etc. And that's going to be your decimal places. Okay, so if it's a denominator of 10, you've got one decimal place. If it's 100, it's two decimal places. If it's 1,000, it's three decimal places. If it's 10,000, it's four decimal places. But again, to go from a fraction to a decimal, you want the denominator to be one of those powers of 10 so that you can write it out as a decimal. To go from a decimal to a fraction, you're going to go the other way. So if it's got one decimal place, it goes over 10. If it's got two decimal places, it goes over 100. If it's got three, it goes over 1,000. And again, it just continues for every zero that you add. Percents and decimals. So if I want to go from a percent to a decimal, I'm going to move the decimal two places to the left to go from a decimal to a percent. The other way. So if I have 15%, it becomes 0.15. If I have 0.025, it becomes 2.5%. Percents to fractions. We're going to do the percent out of 100. So all percents are out of 100. If I want to go from a fraction to a percent, I want to get the denominator to 100. And the numerator is the percent. And again, you can include examples of any of these like I did. So if I'm given, 29%, that's going to be 29 over 100. If I'm given 18%, that's going to be 18 over 100. And I'm going to simplify by dividing by 2, and I get 9 over 50. Okay, so there's two examples of writing percents as fractions. If I want to write a fraction as a percent, so say I've got, 2 over 5, I want to know what that is out of 100. So times 20. So my answer would be 40%. Okay, so on this note card, you can kind of include however much or little you would like. This kind of takes that little tip sheet we had and puts it into this tiny condensed space. You may use that tip sheet on your test, so don't feel like you have to do this. What I would absolutely include on your note card is being able to solve those basic percent problems. So being able to find the part, find the percent, and find the whole. Okay, this is what we've been working on through the word problems, especially for the last several days. So to find the part, we're going to do the percent as a decimal times the whole. To find the percent, we're going to do part divided by whole times 100. And to find the whole, we're going to do percent over 100 equals part over whole. To find the part, you can use the calculator. To find the percent, you may use the calculator, okay? Finding the whole, we're going to use our multiplication chart. Because you're often going to be able to figure out what that multiplication is to get you from the percent to the part. In this empty space right here, maybe a good idea to throw some examples in there. So maybe examples of basic percent problems like finding the part, finding the percent, finding the whole. Maybe throw a word problem in here with the boxes. You're going to have to use the highlighter and all of those things and all those different steps that we did to do the word problems. So being able to identify the parts, put the numbers in the right spot, give me the question mark, all of those things. Okay. So you're going to have to do all of those things on the test. So if you want to include an example of that on your note card, you may. Especially if you leave off the entire front side that I did up at the top here. You're going to have all that space to include examples. So I would try to include some examples if at all possible. This is what I would potentially put on the note card. This is not what you have to put on your note card. Okay? Good luck.